So we wanted to put our story out there to kind of help show that.
So I'm gonna say this stuff. I'm thinking about it now, but I'm gonna be brave.
I have pink eye in one of my eyes, and some other members of our household have some eye stuff going on.
Man, my eye just got itchy all of a sudden when you talked about it, but I think it might be placebo. Hey, get your eye away from me. Keep it on that side of the screen. Okay, so I've been going back and forth all afternoon on how to make this video, and I've researched stuff, and at the end of the day, I'm like, you know, this isn't really our thing to research. We just need to tell our story, honestly.
Yeah.
When we had our first child, Dove, 17 years ago,
Almost 18.
we researched vaccinations. And it was really hard to find a doctor that would actually educate us instead of just pressure or shame us. It seemed like every doctor we asked just kind of assumed that it was something we wanted, and we didn't really know anything.
It mattered a lot to us to be able to have a choice as parents instead of really feeling like we didn't have a choice. And I think a lot of doctors gave me the impression that they didn't give people the choice.
At least the free choice in making a choice about vaccinations and still being viewed as educated, or not dumb.
Good, not
like
horrible parents.
Yeah, someone with a brain. I mean, like, they're like, well, you can make the choice, but you're an idiot, and I'm the trained professional. Which is really weird because at the time, we had just been through the whole birth process for the first time and researching that and seeing how dangerous, in our opinion, the traditional medical system is towards a very natural process. So finally we heard the stats, and the stats for us at the time that were available, this is like a lot of before Wikipedia, was, you know, there was X number of cases in X country.
We found a doctor that really listened to us and wasn't super scared of just, I don't know, just didn't see it like one way. Felt like he just received us as humans with brains and gave us the information that we wanted.
So we gave Dove some vaccinations at like a more reduced spread. And then more and more kids we had, we were just kind of like, actually, we're kind of fine chancing it. And we didn't really feel like it was worth the potential danger to our individual children for the potential global eradication. I mean, and I hadn't read specific studies about autism or anything. I just had kind of a general distrust of the medical field in general. I think there's some things it's really good at, and there's other areas where historically it's proven to be, and is proving to be right now, completely non-trustworthy. And what I would cite is like, there's like all these random, you know, like you can go back and just Google. I think the guy that invented the lobotomy was given a Nobel Peace Prize like in the 40s or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
As late as the 50s, they were saying smoking is good for you. 2 of your siblings weren't breastfed because of like medical wisdom at the time. So I'm not trying to tear down the medical system. I'm just trying to say this system, like, it's not bulletproof and it's not flawless at all. Now, I think we have like a very short-term memory oftentimes. We think, oh, well, that's the past. Now, we finally got it.
Yeah.
As a society, as a culture, as a medical system.
Are you either better?
No, my eye's still sick.
Okay.
Thanks for asking.
combine that with the fact that this like fear/hate engine is always looking to make a massive spectacle of something global, whether it's bird flu or swine flu or AIDS. And I'm not saying these aren't major things, but I just think they're so exacerbated by the media.
In the last couple months, I started thinking about vaccinations again, and I think I've always kind of gone back and forth with them through the years, but always landing on not getting them for the most part. But recently, with all of the coverage of, I mean, kind of scapegoating, I think, people who don't get vaccinated, it started to make me feel like, oh, did we make the wrong decision? Like, are our kids gonna get super sick, and then make other kids super sick? And even just, I think it was just social pressure that I was feeling through the internet, which is kind of funny, but it wasn't actually like face to face, that I just started to question again, oh, should we have done this? And now that like our kids are almost adults, some of them, it's just kind of funny. It's to think about this. It's like, oh, do we only think about this for the younger ones, and then the older ones now make their own decisions? It's confusing, I think, because people don't just talk about it. They talk about it in very polarizing ways. Like you're either on one side or the other. So you don't have the mental or emotional space to really ask, what's the best thing for you? What's the best thing for your kids? Thirdly, what's the best thing for the public? I mean, I know that that's like a question to ask, but I feel like people ask that question first, or they shame you for not like thinking of the broader population and only thinking of yourself or your kids. But I think they're all valuable questions to ask, but people aren't given that space to just ask that. And so I kind of had to create that for myself and talk to Ben and try to figure out, okay, where is this coming from? Like, do I really actually want them to get my kids vaccinated, or am I just feeling this pressure now to do it? And I don't really like to make decisions based off of just because I feel pressured to do it. I don't really think that's a great way to make decisions, especially, yeah, the higher the decision it is.
And one of the things I learned playing blackjack was the actual decision that is made and the net result of a particular decision
Yeah, you can go. Okay, get your shoes.
Is not usually as important as the way in which you make a decision. You know, maybe it's better to vaccinate your kids. I actually don't know. You know, I don't have a strong opinion about it either way. I'm fine with giving that up. But I do know, or at least what I do believe, is that it's not necessarily the best practice to always just do whatever the medical/big pharma commercial community tells you to do. So how you interchange that, I think it's really complicated. You know, we have this, for the first time in human history, we have this appearance of information globally and this impetus to act globally, which has never happened.
Well, and I think the way people make it not complicated, and I totally get this, but they just listen to the masses. They listen to the doctors, they listen to the professionals, and they let those people make the decisions for them. And I get it, like, but I think that's actually a way that people deal with that complexity.
Yeah. But like, what if, like, when there comes to like genetic tampering, that if you have like faulty genes, or like genes with limitations physically or emotionally or mentally, that people accuse you of not doing what's in society's best interests, by killing, removing, or altering genes of your children. Right. I mean, like, that's where this mindset could so easily be taken.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I go out today?
Sure.
I think as a society, we've been trained to turn off our brains, especially when it comes to certain things. So when it does come to something like I think, even more serious, like genetic tampering or possibly like killing a life form or whatever. At that point, we're already trained to just say like, okay, wait, you know what's best. Like, I must not know what's best. You know, I think it actually also just comes down to not thinking you have the liberty to trust yourself. Like, you think, oh no, I have to trust the people that have been to school and have been educated and know better than me. And there's a place for that. But I think to completely turn off your brain and just say like, and I think I've done that. Definitely. It's easy to do, just to walk in and to the doctor's office and not to ask the questions that you actually really want to know, because you feel like you're going to be treated a certain way.
So it's a little bit scary putting out a video like this. Like, at first I was just going to talk about vaccinations as this theory and not really share our story, because I think that type of information can really easily be weaponized. You know, people are looking to see which side of the line you're on, and then they base your entire character and how they feel about you based on that one piece of information, which I think that's the most unfortunate thing about this entire thing. Is whatever this vaccination thing is, whatever the hype is right now, it will pass. You know, people are all worked up about it. In 6 months and 1 year, I don't think people will even, it'll leave the news.
There'll be something else to replace it.
Because it is tragic, like what they're phrasing as outbreaks, but I was just looking at the World Health Organization, like the statistics. It's like not really, it's a drop on the radar statistically compared to like so many other issues globally right now.
Yeah.
But it's something that people feel like they can take a stand. I don't even want to get into it. So
probably because it is preventable, like, is how people are viewing it. Yeah, I think it's valuable to hear a story, to hear actually a personal account, whether you completely disagree or completely agree, or you fall somewhere in between. It's not, to us, it doesn't even really matter. To us, we want people to feel like they're not alone in making hard decisions and in navigating our culture. So we wanted to put our story out there to kind of help show that.
So I'm gonna say this stuff. I'm thinking about it now, but I'm gonna be brave. And I know this is gonna be taken out of context, but fuck it. You know, when we were on the Appalachian Trail, we said this thing, and it's true, and it's safety needs to come second. Safety can't come first. Like, if safety is your main goal for your children, it's a terrible goal. Like, no one gets to their end of their life and they're like, oh, I lived a really good life, I was safe. Like, safety is a good tool, like when you have someplace else you want to go. I think having the safety first mentality as parents has created this burden on us that says any like technology or information that's available, if you don't use it, then you're a bad parent. That's what safety first ultimately has led to a point where this, you know, idea of immunization, which has been around for how long? I mean, I don't know, it seems like less than 100 years. If you don't do it, now you're a bad parent. So what about the other thousands of years? Like, were those people all bad parents, or are you only a bad parent if you don't use something that's available? Well, what happens when all these other new options become available? You guys, a lot of like our decision to do what is by considered a lot of people amazing things, like hiking or even doing the marathon, it doesn't come from asking like, okay, what's the safest way? We're like, man, what's the best for relationship and community and love? And then, can we do it with a reasonable degree of safety? Great, we're gonna do it. But if we ask this question, okay, what's the safest thing? I feel like it's like going to...
It pushes everything else out then at that point. To me, I think it's so unbalanced. I think, yes, I want to give safety to my children, but if that becomes the most important thing, then it comes at a cost, and then there's other things that are gonna leave.
And that's what is frustrating to me about this conversation in the media, is they're completely ignoring the cost. They're presenting it as if there's no cost. And there is a cost. There's always a cost, even to the mindset. And this is like, coming from a business world, there's a couple pieces of business advice that are really helpful. You do not go to a lawyer or an accountant to help create your business plan. You create your business plan, and then you go to a lawyer and you ask, hey, is this, you know, what's your legal perspective on this? And then you go to an accountant and be like, hey, what's the best way to get taxes on this? But a lawyer will make it all about law and protection, and an accountant will make it all about taxes. When a good business is not about law or taxes.
Which they should, because that's their job.
Yeah.
Like, that makes total sense.
But you don't want them telling you what to do from the very beginning. You need to like get their advice on things after you already decide what you want to do. And I think with parenting, you know, we need to decide what we want to do. And then it's you know, I'm fine with vaccination. It's not that big of a deal to me either way. It's just this like witch hunt mentality where it's like, you're a bad parent if you don't vaccinate. It's like, give me a break.
I know. I've seen horrible things, like people saying like they should shoot the parents that don't vaccinate their kids, and I'm just like, whoa, you know, these are people.
Like ironic.
These are, yeah, it's kind of ironic. Are we in the Holocaust right now? Because
that's right. It's far more of
people.
It's far more of a moral thing than it is actually a health thing at the end of the day. At least the way how people are wielding it.
Hot chocolate.
That's hot
And
chocolates for dinner. We're gonna say goodbye because that's all we really had for you guys today.
That's all we had, just this big, crazy.
I hope it helps you.
Polarizing topic.
I'm interested, did this present a new perspective? You can leave your hate comments below if you want. I don't think I'm gonna read them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna read them.
But have fun, it might help you, you know, get something off your chest.